Okay, welcome back. And our guest is coming out of our studio remotely in Abuja. He's engineer Nuruddin Hamenyaro. He's a retired naval officer. He also is an APC chieftain, which makes him a politician. You heard the contributions of the last two people. Let's even take it from the very, very last. The point was made that, look, oil theft is not that kind of a criminal affair where you have petty criminals, small-time criminals who, put a craft on the seas and begin to steal a nation's assets. In other words, it is pointing to the fact that there's so much complicity seemingly involved for anyone to be able to pull off that kind of a stunt. But just before you come into it, I hear that I have on the line, well, they haven't written it here, but Oseni from Jos. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Yes. Please, Uncle Yori, let's say the truth. You see, Uncle Yori, if at all, those people that are engaged in all this, if you leave me, that are engaged in this oil theft are not being punished, definitely it will not stop. If you leave me, today, Nigerians know who are carrying out that mayhem on the country. Politicians, let me tell you, politicians in the high places, in fact, those people, some of them, they are among those that surrounded the presidency. No any arm of government in this country that is left behind in this particular issue. They are the ones engaged in all these problems. The question is, why is it that these people are being caught, and what is the remedy? What punishment is being served to them? And let me tell you, if we don't do that, if the president don't have the will to do with this thing as it is, when you are caught, let that person be dealt with decisively, and let Nigerians know who are the people stealing this fuel. We will not go anywhere. Look at the same problem today. You watch one of the programs, Berkete Family program. Did you know the problem in the oil sector? All the problem that President Tinubu is suffering to fix, that Nigerians are demonstrating on the street, it lies down the there. If he can be able to tackle that issue, allow Dangote to bring in fuel and begin to sell to Nigerians today, tomorrow, you will see turn around. Marketers have now put an association and blocked every truck not to go to Dangote and pick the fuel. And now, do you know how much are they selling the fuel? 900 to 1,000 naira. Why? When we have solution here, the man have gone in imported fuel for them to even come and buy at a cheaper rate. There is a cabal blocking them not to go there and buy. And we are calling this a country. Every day people are starving and dying for nothing. Just for some few people interest. Well, this thing, you don't need to even engage any private security. The army, the military, top-ranking ones, their hands is in this thing. Catch them, punish them, and see whether this thing will not stop, Uncle Yori. Why?
Well, thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Oseni, on this matter. Yes, as I had said, Engineer Nuruddin Hamenyaro, quite a bit to unpack, and I wanted to lean on the politician in you, because you are a ruling party chieftain. Now, the points are made, and all these points seem to flow into a channel called Nigerianness. That is to say, when Nigeria happens to you, it happens to you. How come not one suspect's name has been mentioned since, for instance, Tantita has been in operations and have been making apprehensions? So you never hear about anything. So really one begins to wonder, like quite a number of things, do we really want to address those things? Because there is no doubt that we can address them, but we can only address them in a particular sort of way. You can't go beyond a certain point. You can't provide information out there. You can't, quote unquote, name and shame people who have been preliminarily engaged with. So all of this then seems that there's no surprise as to the president having been issuing these kind of directives. And people are saying that, well, we haven't seen anything come from those directives. And if we're not careful, people will completely lose faith and not even believe anymore.
Uncle Yori, it all boils down to the same thing I mentioned, sincerity of purpose. Sincerity of purpose from the NMPC, just like the way His Royal Highness, the Emir of Kano, suggested, why have we not metered our energy system, particularly in the oil and gas? Why haven't we metered our oil and gas? You understand? Just like the way today we are metering electricity. It all boils down to the sincerity of purpose. Let Tantita, like you said, together. What I'm saying in essence, if Nigeria can invest heavily on this security architecture and still carry pipeline and give it to Tantita, then what have we, what are we calling the security system? Is it that it's a failed system? And if it's a failed system, what can we do to address it? And this is where politics comes in. Sincerity of purpose from the political aspect, the party should sit down, review what have we told Nigerians that we are going to do. Not as a party we'll be fighting each other now. If you look at my party, the APC, under the leadership of Ganduje, look at how have we supported the president? Him alone cannot do this. I always used to say that. It's one thing that the president wants to achieve sanity and bring about development in the country. Is another thing that he get adequate support from Nigerians, irrespective of party affiliation. But most importantly, his party, that's my party now, will need to demonstrate and not even to be fighting ourselves. Because look at the case, if we can't even address our simple issues as internal party problem, just like what is happening in most of the states, how do we then address the problem of Nigeria? It will be surprising that somebody will say, okay, I'm a party person and I'm talking like this in the national television. But it's okay to do that because I'm even calling it a favor to my party. Because when you listen to most of this, calling, it's left for us to sit down and address it. What is happening today in Benue State, it's a shame. It shouldn't be happening to our party. Look at what is happening between Governor Alia and his state party chairman. It's a shame. You can't really, these are people who are pillars to democracy. They are pillars to the party. They have done their best. I will still come back and we talk about the security aspect vis-a-vis the oil theft in the Niger Delta. But I am trying to address leadership issues in the party which consequently affect the aspect we are discussing, Okuliori. Now, if the party cannot address issues as simple as state conflict between governor and state party chairman, then how do we then address national issues, particularly like oil theft? Because today what is happening in Benue State has happened in my state, Adamawa State, and that is a shame because remember, we are gearing towards 2027. But today in Benue State, the Agada-led APC State Working Committee has been dissolved. On what ground? There is no constitutional ground whatsoever from the party to have dissolved the Agada Committee. It's wrong, it's unfair, and it should not be accepted. Because Alia, who is an opportunist in the party, is a governor, sorry to use this language, he came to the party when it was fully, when the party was nothing. Yes, he was popular, but popularity is one thing, winning election is another thing. We have a candidate like him who was popular in Adamawa State. She couldn't win election because the party was not intact. There's conflict in the leadership. But he enjoyed the same party leadership, doggedness, and leadership coordination of the state party chairman together with other critical stakeholders, and he emerged as the governor. But look at what is happening today. He is busy running up and down, pillar to post, chasing shadows, wanting to punish the state party chairman, trying to push him out of the system. Will that help democracy? So if we can sit down and address small issues like this, how do we then address national issues like oil theft?
One moment, please. Mr. Olawale in Ikorodu, thank you for holding on. Good morning.
Very
much, Professor Yori. Yeah. God bless you. Hello?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, okay. Please, your guest made pertinent point at the beginning of this conversation, and we seem to have derailed from it. He said...
I'm afraid my people are not letting me hear you. But continue.
Hello?
Continue, please.
Are you hearing me? Okay. That the people who are laying the golden eggs are being denied. Okay? You have to take care of the people at the battlefront, the armed forces. You have to take care of them. You cannot send them to the battlefront and the home front will be leaking. That is number one. Recently, you increase the salary of judges because having eye on 2027, okay? You left those ones who are in the battlefront. You have to take care of them, both the police and the armed forces. If you don't take care of them, we are not winning this battle. You have sent them to Zamfara now. You want to tell me they don't know where Bello Toji is, who has been troubling Zamfara State? Then secondly, the people who are involved in this oil theft, don't deceive yourself. They are in NMPC and presidency. God bless you.
Well, thank you very much. Okay, now, Engineer Nuruddin, okay, now you can, we've cleared the roads of those who wanted to contribute points of view as well.
Yes, Uncle Yori. Everybody have their own right to air their own opinion. But what I'm saying, in essence, there are basic things to addressing this, worrying situation. But again, first thing first, as a party, we need to address internal issues. Is very, very, very important. We should never forget that as we go divided, we stand to lose, and we'll lose woefully. So we should not allow issues like this, as primary as they are, to be going on, because it will affect our party. And if we are together, and address this problem and not witch hunt people, then we can sit down and look at, okay, look, I'm clear, I'm quite aware of the conference that the party will hold between ministers and some selected individuals quite across the 36 state plus FCT. Now, the aim of this conference likely is to discuss with ministers to see how they can, streamline their own policies that would align with the president initiative policy on mantra of renewed hope. Now, why is it now, Uncle Yori? Why now? Why are we doing it now? Because these are things we should have done in our first month in the office or second month. Remember, effective period of governance is not 4 years, Uncle Yori. It's 2 years or maximum 30 or 36 months, because immediately it's 2026, the atmosphere will change. It's political period. So if we are in the second year and we are still talking about bringing ministers to come and discuss with them to hear what are their policies. Some ministers have already wasted time. They have cheated this country. They have cheated Mr. President. They couldn't do anything in their mystery. Hence, he should fire them, because remember, these ministers were brought to office to support the president in achieving his renewed hope mantra. But today, what have we seen? In agriculture, can you say anything? Getting 2 years. In power, we are struggling with electricity hike. In energy, look at, somebody just mentioned, Uncle Yori, I bought fuel yesterday, 950 naira. And what has the party done about that? There is no public engagement. There is nothing in support of the president. He can't do it alone. As good as he is, if we can't support him internally to achieve this, it's a waste of time. And like somebody clearly mentioned, we have to be seen to be punishing people who errs, irrespective of their affiliation or their, contact with the powers that be. If we can't be doing that, Uncle Yori, Nigeria will go nowhere. And this is happening.
Let me, sorry to interrupt you. I beg your pardon. I really beg your pardon for interrupting you. Let me bring in Professor Edmund in Enugu. Good morning, Prof.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Yori, it seems your guests or some of your callers have totally deviated from the topic of the day. Or push for oil theft. That should be the topic. Why are they talking about party politics? We are not talking about. We are not. The topic is not about party politics, but about oil theft. So I'm surprised that they are bringing in party politics 2027 into the main issue, which is food for oil theft. Is it not?
Well, yeah. Maybe they're looking at part of some of the remote causes of this oil theft, frustrating the push.
Yori, please. I disagree with.
Go ahead, Prof. Continue, please.
So
you disagree?
I disagree with them. I disagree with them, and I disagree with you, because the topic is push for oil theft in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, I feel ashamed to be a Nigerian. This is the only country of all the oil-producing nations that oil theft is a current decimal. It's a very big embarrassment to the nation. So the question is, what is the Navy doing? What is the Navy doing? What is the military doing? What is the NCSD doing? This is the main issue, because all these agencies, all these military agencies and paramilitary agencies, what have they been doing to checkmate this incident oil theft? Or do I take it that they are part and parcel of the oil theft? So it's very shameful. In 21st century, we are still talking about oil theft. The only country of all the oil-producing nations that we talk about oil theft is shameful and disgraceful.
All right.
So something must be done about it.
Okay, Prof.
The military, the president should call the military to order, particularly Navy, NCDSC, and the Tantita, whatever they call them, Tantita.
Yes.
They should sit up. They're not doing their job. And as a matter of fact, they're embarrassing the president.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very much, Professor. Professor Edmund called in from Enugu there. The professor was wondering why it would appear that the conversation has veered away to, politics and the role of politicians. Even when we pointed out that, look, these were brought up as some of the remote causes of the problem, the professor was adamant and said it's not part of it. He doesn't think that's an intelligent conclusion. The professor wants us to stay on the straight and narrow, the push against oil theft. Which part of that do we not understand? Seems to be the professor's stance.
Uncle Yori, it cannot be discussed in isolation. There is no way you discuss oil theft matter in isolation, because it is party politics that brings leadership. It is the leadership that, identify those head of agencies and appoint them for a duration. It is the same leadership, that give clear tasks to those head of agencies that this is what the president wants to achieve within so period of time. And it is those, that's the tax we are talking about. So if you want to discuss oil theft in isolation, you will end up deviating as well. But if you look at it holistically, side by side, people that are supposed to be managing it, how they are even supposed to be selected, not because they are my people, but because they are capable. Not because we are from the same place, but because they have a good track record. You can't just push away. Yes. So
in the meantime, as you were speaking, Ugochukwu came on the line. Good morning to you, Ugochukwu.
Good morning, my brother.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Thank you so much. Please, I love the topic, oil theft. Very soon in this country, we'll be experiencing something that we won't believe. The youth are going very well. Imagine people who have graduated, professionals, class holders, who doesn't have anybody in politics. After graduating, no marriage, no nothing. Very soon, the army will be chased out of that Niger Detla. The police can't hold them. Even the political, if you watch what is happening in this country now, if anybody has wisdom, the solution is keep the youth busy. How do you keep them busy? There is no companies in this country again. Where do they go? Most of them, I had the time they went to destroy one refinery, it's a local refinery. The group, they went there. Most of them are graduates. Hi, I went there. So I said, God of mercy. They said they cannot survive again.
Ugochukwu? Okay. Well, it does look as if that was truncated a bit. So, okay, back to you now for the home stretch, Engineer Nuruddin. You were saying that these things could not be discussed in isolation of the environment that produces them, thereby indicating that politics is not an innocent entity in all of this. And but people are saying, well, if politics is not, you know, an innocent entity, then for how long is this going to continue? Because people see it that when
Uncle
you
Yori?
bring... Yep.
Uncle Yori, remember the agitation in the Niger Delta, you know, about oil production and destruction of their aquatic lives and not having adequate infrastructure within the Niger Delta region is what prompted President Obasanjo to establish the Niger Delta Development Commission. Over the years, Uncle Yori, over the years, how many years today down the line, what has been the achievement of the Niger Delta Commission? Remember the saga we have of this current sitting president and then MD, Joy Nunye, how it panned out even in the national media. A lot of embarrassments happen because there cannot be accountability. So that's why I say it's all encompassing. You have, when you are discussing it, you have to discuss everybody and everything in it, Uncle Yori, because you cannot just say oil theft. Remember, in the same Niger Delta today, there is human theft too, because there is kidnapping too going on, you know, because sometimes it's the only thing, is the only way that will guarantee carry the oil, because when you come, is either you carry the people protecting the oil before you carry it, or you fight, kill them before you steal it. You understand? So either way, it is a disaster. But again, why I am still emphasizing on sincerity of purpose, politicians need to be sincere. The political structure, irrespective of party affiliation in the Niger Delta area, will need to sit down and review these things. How have we served our people? Has the Niger Delta Commission served its purpose? If no, what have we been doing that is wrong? Because if the president has done that to address infrastructural deficit, consequently to allow youth to get employed and allow production of this oil, you know, and today there's nothing happening, it means there's a big problem. The same thing is happening in every part of the country.
I would say, Engineer, that this is part of what the problem, this is part of what the president intended when he, on his initiative, set up this meeting with the Chief of Defense Staff. There are so many aspects to it. All of them have to be lined up, perhaps brought to a round table, and then we have to look at it with the faith that it's not going to be business as usual. And I think that is also what you are saying, that these issues need to be looked at critically, holistically, if we want to make traction towards its solution. We're going to have to leave it here now. Engineer Nuruddin Haman Yebo, retired naval officer, APC chieftain, and I want to thank you very much for making time for us this morning. And also to thank our viewers that called in with their insights into the problem. That brings us to the end of our program today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.
Following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. You're watching ShopX TV, home to some of the most popular international brands in Africa, including Gotham Hammered Collection, Genie Bra, Bionic Floodlight, Spot X, Total Crunch Evolution, and more. And we are now proud to introduce our biggest offer of the year, the ShopX Mid-Year Sales.
Yes, from now till the end of August 2024, we will be offering